welcome back. It is a terrific Tuesday on Liquid Lunch on Newsmax TV. I'm John Tobacco, and we're coming to you today live as we do every day, noon to 2 Eastern, from the Newsmax headquarters, high atop Midtown Manhattan. Downtown at the New York Stock Exchange, the market is up about 450 points, and conversely, Bitcoin is down about 450 points, and we'll talk a little later on about why there may be some correlation between those two. But there is a tremendous amount of correlation between what's going on geopolitically and our next guest. Gordon Chang joins us. He is one of the foremost experts on Asia. He's the author of The Coming Collapse of China. And with all this unrest in Hong Kong, who better than to bring in than Gordon Chang? Gordon, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, well, thank you so much.
So, Gordon, it seems like the word is that this uprising in Hong Kong is more of a middle-class uprising where working people and people who enjoy some of the freedoms they have there are protesting peacefully, and now they're shutting down the airports. I know that China wants to keep a lock grip on their neck, but can this have any impact, and what's the fallout for us?
Well, the fallout for us is that China's attacking freedom across the board, including the American democracy. And the front line of all of it, of course, is now the Hong Kong airport, Hong Kong itself, because this is where Beijing is going after a fragile society. So it's very much in our interest to support the Hong Kong protesters because we have been both.
So it started in the streets, then they've taken it to the airports. Today they said they canceled some flights. At what point does China come down with the fist and start rolling tanks in the streets?
Great question. Nobody knows, of course, except some senior Chinese leaders who are now meeting at the Seaside Resort of Beidaihe. They do this most August, and right now they're there. And I think that within about 5 days or so, we'll see the end of the Beidaihe conference. And at that point, there very well may be a consensus among senior Chinese leaders as to what to do. And that consensus could be to roll in the armored personnel carriers and the troops of the People's Armed Police and the People's Liberation Army. That would very much be a last resort for what Beijing wants to do, because if they do that, you're probably going to have blood on both sides, but you're going to have Chinese troops coming back in body bags.
Gordon, this is Frank Moreno. Thanks again. I know how in demand you are today. But if you could give our viewers a little bit of background, this Hong Kong two systems, one country initiative that they've been part of for the last 20 years, I'm actually surprised it didn't explode into greater unrest earlier. It seems like the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of these protests is this proposed extradition law. What was that extradition law, and where do things stand with that now?
Yeah, the extradition bill was proposed by Carrie Lam, who's the Hong Kong executive.
It's official. Newsmax TV is America's fastest-growing conservative network, and it's now on Dish. More than 50 million American homes can tune into Newsmax TV for the real news on the Trump revolution, with smart analysis from Mike Reagan, Alan Dershowitz, David Horowitz,
or mainland partners who would actually try to use the extradition process to gain advantages in their business dealings. But the protests in Hong Kong have gone well beyond the bill, which was, as you point out, the tipping point. Now the demands are universal suffrage for the election of the chief executive. Some people are talking about independence from China. Others are talking about the end of communism on Chinese soil. The demands have been escalating over time, as you would expect them to in this type of movement.
Yeah, Gordon, I hope you can hear me okay. We're starting to lose you a little bit, so I'll end with this. North Korea, they seem pretty adamant about continuing with these missile tests. The president, he spoke the other day about this. He doesn't seem bothered by it. He indicated that he got a beautiful letter from the North Korean dictator saying that they're only doing these missile tests as long as these war games go on. Do you think that South Korea should discontinue these war games in order to de-escalate the tensions?
Oh, absolutely not. You know, President Trump at the June summit last year said that he would suspend the major exercises, but we need to continue to exercise in order to maintain readiness as a deterrent. And the North Koreans have not stopped their exercises, which are actually massive, the winter training cycle and the summer training cycle. So, you know, at this particular time, we should continue the small-scale exercises we have with the South Koreans, because we need to be able to defend South Korea. The president is wrong on all of these issues regarding the exercise.
Gordon, we'll see you soon. Thanks for taking some time today.
Thank you very much to Gordon
Thank you so much, everybody.
I am not John Batchelor, but thank you for joining us. And
ancient
thank you for
Chinese
joining
secret,
us.
huh?
You do every day, and you stay right there. We're going to mix it up with a Republican, a Democrat. The purple people are up next.